Coming up on the Paper Talk today, we're going to be talking about, I don't know, man. What can we talk about? What could we possibly talk about today? Let's have a look. Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and the weather is pretty fine. Loads of stories to get into and we will focus on them, but make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. We spoke about Manchester United's epic win over Liverpool yesterday. I'm going to call it an epic win. Why not? It's the first one in 9 years at Anfield. Loads of post-match analysis, so we don't need to focus on that. I'm only joking. That's all I'm going to talk about. All the papers this morning are looking at the quotes from Arne Slot, the quotes from Ruben Amorim, and just the general reaction to Manchester United beating Liverpool, the champions, 2-1 at Anfield. Arne Slot was very, very bitter about it. He's been proper salty, innit? He was moaning about the fact Manchester United played a low block. He was moaning about the fact that Manchester United were playing long balls. He was even moaning about the fact United didn't start Benjamin Sesko. I don't know what he's on about. He sort of picked up the mantle from Jurgen Klopp in moaning about everything when he doesn't get the result that he wants. Very, very bitter. Didn't come across well at all. And what is that, his fourth defeat on the spin now? Pressure's on him. We've even seen Liverpool fans criticising him and saying he's not up to the job. Not up to the job. He's just won your second title in 30 years and you think he's not up to the job. Anyway, I don't really care whether you think he's up to the job or not. I think it's pretty funny and his reaction was pretty funny as well. There's been more reaction from Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim, who's always said pretty much the right things, hasn't he? Even if you criticise him, even if you question him, in press conferences, in interviews, he usually comes across quite well. And he said a lot of the right things yesterday. He mentioned about the fact that, yes, this is probably his biggest win. I'm paraphrasing, I think he called it his biggest win as Manchester United manager. And I'd probably agree with that. You might look at it and go, okay, we've won a European semi-final under Ruben Amorim. We've won at the Etihad under Ruben Amorim. We've won at Arsenal under Ruben Amorim. But this felt a little bit different. Not only is it our first win at Anfield in 9 years, it's also his first back-to-back Premier League wins as well. So that feels pretty seismic. Plus, you've got Liverpool who were the reigning champions or are the reigning champions. Now, you might go, well, we beat Manchester City at the Etihad last season. But that performance was a little bit more smash and grab. And that was against a City side, who, I know Liverpool have been struggling, but City were really struggling. I think it was their worst record in about 15 years when we went there to the Etihad. So this feels a little bit different. And it was a very, very good performance from Manchester United. There was a lot of fantastic displays from so many players. We're going to get into a few of them. Ruben Amorim himself mentioned the fact of Harry Maguire. I think he called him a great example to kids, and he is. Harry Maguire's been a player that I think we're past the stage now where we can say Harry Maguire has turned things around, or Harry Maguire, he gets too much stick. I think everyone agrees now that Harry Maguire does a very good job for Manchester United. I think everyone knows that. I think the Lyon game last season where he got that late winner felt like a real sort of watermark, where everyone was like, look, regardless of the price tag, regardless of what's gone in the past, you've got overall, I think Harry Maguire's been a good player for Manchester United, and he's a player that just gets on with it. We've had a lot of players here who've spat the dummies out, who haven't been happy when they're not being picked, who haven't been happy, who haven't put in performances that are justifying anywhere near what you'd expect from a Manchester United player. But Harry Maguire, he's always given his all. He always tries his best, and I know that sounds a little bit like patting on the head. He tries his best, but he's not one who's moaned when he's had the captaincy took off him. He's not one who's moaned when he's been relegated to the bench. He's just got on with it, and he always turns up, and he turned up massively against Liverpool. I thought it was a phenomenal performance from him, both defensively and in attack as well. And when he was speaking about his goal, he spoke about running to the fans. He praised the fans and the way the fans have been with him, and he also praised Bruno Fernandes for that pass, that volleyed pass. Was absolutely unreal, wasn't it, from Bruno Fernandes? And I think Roy Keane said he's one of the few players on the planet, or one of the only players that, 99 out of 100 players wouldn't be able to do that. Bruno is one of the ones that can, and it's true, he just is, and he just reminds you of the quality that Bruno Fernandes gets. Sometimes that goes under the radar, sometimes people just dismiss him, and it's kind of fitting that it came at Anfield as well, where a few years ago he was getting almost blamed for the 7-0 loss, and people saying he wanted to come off the pitch and be substituted when he obviously didn't. So it's good to see Bruno Fernandes getting his flowers, both from the manager, from Roy Keane and from Harry Maguire. The manager praising Son Lemons as well. Very solid performance from him. Made some good saves. Was good with his commanding his area as well. Distribution-wise, it was just going long, but he did that and he did it well. So fair play to him. And Amad Diallo was the other player that Ruben Amorim mentioned. Amad was substituted because of the yellow card, which I thought was a ridiculous yellow card, by the way. But he said that's why he took him off. But he praised Amad. He said he's not had it all easy this season, but he's kept going, and I thought yesterday at Anfield was his best performance so far in this campaign. So some very, very good performances throughout the Manchester United team. It's good to see Ruben Amorim getting the credit he deserves. He was asked about whether this is sort of the end of the storm or whatever when he mentioned, didn't he? The storm analogy has been one that's been prevalent throughout his time at Manchester United. He said when he first came in, we had some decent results, that a storm is coming. The storm came. We finished 15th at the end of the season, last season, against Aston Villa, when he was on the pitch following that game. He said, look, I said the bad times, the storm was coming. Now the good times are coming. This could be a step towards that. Roy Keane said it himself, and I don't always agree, Roy Keane, but I think he made a good point. Look, doesn't mean Manchester United are back, even though a lot of us are saying that. But this is a big step forward. This is the sort of result, the sort of performance where you can really build on it. But you have to move forward, and that is what Ruben Amorim said. He's looking already ahead to the Brighton game. You remember when we got a draw last season at Anfield? Ruben Amorim said it's all well and good performing like that against Liverpool. You've got to turn up every week. Now we've got to turn up every week. We've got games against Brighton, got games against Nottingham Forest, games against Spurs. Nottingham Forest and Spurs in particular really struggling. Well, Spurs are a bit up and down, shall we say. They lost at home to Aston Villa recently. Forest have just sacked the manager. Yes, they'll probably have a new manager bounce, but they've sacked the manager because the form has been woeful. So they're there for the taking. I think all those games are winnable, and I think Manchester United, if we turn up like we did at Anfield, can definitely get that win. A big talking point yesterday as well was Virgil Van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk, who the Scousers will tell you is the greatest defender the Premier League has ever seen. And yet again against Manchester United, we've seen a performance that wasn't good enough. I mean, it was good enough for me as a United fan, but it wasn't good enough from a Liverpool perspective. He elbowed his own player in the head, Alexis McAllister, and then didn't pick up Brian Mbeumo for the opening goal. Wasn't a good performance at all. And this is a player that Liverpool fans will tell you is the greatest defender the Premier League has ever seen. I remember a few years ago in Eric Ten Hag's first game against Liverpool when Virgil van Dijk was doing his best Liam Gallagher impression for Jadon Sancho's goal, and he had James Milner and I think Jordan Henderson giving him a load of stick. I remember James Milner laying into him during the game when I was watching it here at Old Trafford. So this sort of myth that's being perpetuated that Virgil van Dijk is the greatest defender of all time, I just don't understand it. Yes, he's done very well. He's won 2 Premier League titles. That's only one less than Johnny Evans, so you've got to give him credit there. But that doesn't mean he's the greatest defender that we've ever seen. And there's so many games where I watch Virgil van Dijk, this so-called aura, I think, is a little bit of a myth. And I think yesterday was a quick reminder of that. Is he as good as Nemanja Vidic? No. Is he as good as Rio Ferdinand? No. Is he as good as Jaap Stam? No, he's not. All those were more consistent, won more titles, and just were better defenders and footballers than Virgil van Dijk. You can argue about the others from other clubs, I don't care. But for me, this whole Virgil van Dijk is the greatest the Premier League's ever seen. It's just nonsensical, and it was shown up to be nonsensical yet again at Anfield. Manchester United now, I think we're still about 9th. I was hoping to look at the table this morning and see that we'd somehow become first after that win, but it doesn't quite work like that. But we are only 2 points off Liverpool, who are right near the top. So there's green shoots, isn't there, from Manchester United and Ruben Amorim. Now you're looking at it, you're thinking, okay, we're where we want to be in terms of the performances. Now we just need to move up the table. And like I said earlier, those games coming thick and fast. 1 game a week as well. Hopefully that can start to be an advantage. Credit to Ruben Amorim. When I saw that team yesterday, I was scratching my head. I couldn't understand why he didn't start Benjamin Sesko. I thought defensively, has he got it right? Should Lenny Yoro be in there instead of Luke Shaw maybe? But you've got to give the manager credit. He can get criticised when he gets things wrong, but he deserves praise when he gets them right, and he definitely got it right at Anfield with a very good performance and a very good result. And Manchester United, for me, very good value for that win. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let Arne Slot tell you otherwise about low blocks and long balls and not playing Sesko, whatever that means. Manchester United deserve the win. And what's even funnier is I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans moaning, that's not a word, let's try again, moaning about Michael Oliver, moaning because they didn't get the free kick or they didn't stop the game when Alexis McAllister got elbowed off his own player, moaning about the fact that Manchester United didn't give away a penalty when the ball hit Amad's arm. I mean, I don't know what they're moaning about. For once, I thought Michael Oliver did a decent job other than the Amad booking. So, yeah, just take your L and move on. It happens quite a lot for you Liverpool fans at the minute. You should be used to it. I'm going to leave it there. Make sure, if you're not doing so already, you are hitting like, share and subscribe. Also, check out the Stretford Paddock merch. There's a link in the description and a link on the pinned comment. We've got a load of new merch out there, so go and check that out. I've been Jay Motti. This has been the Paper Talk outside a pretty mild, but it feels sunny, Old Trafford. Thanks for watching.